Hi, students. Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in to Sweet Sounds of Reading TV. I'm Tutor Vanessa, and my job is to help you understand how to break down the sounds inside of words so that you'll be able to read anything. Now, before we get started with today's class, I have a quick question to ask you. Did you practice? Did you practice everything that you learned from the last class? Well, that's great because in order to keep up in this class, you're going to, as you know, show what you know, right? And you can't show what you know if you didn't practice. Now, with that being said, let's get started. Now, we're going to continue today's class with quickie 2 sounds. So let's do a quick recap of what a quickie 2 sound is. Who remembers? A quickie 2 sound is a letter, right, or a sound picture that makes two quick sounds. These sounds, in fact, are said so quick, when you're listening, it almost sounds like you're making one sound because they blend together so well, okay? So that's a quickie 2 sound. So we learned, who remembers what the quickie 2 sound was from the last class? It was kss, kss, right? So we're going to learn a new quickie 2 sound today. And here we go. Da, 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 da. All right, so this is a quickie 2 sound picture, okay? And for your to help you out, I put the little two quickie 2 skating guys right there in the corner to give you a clue. When you see this type of sound, that it makes two sounds, it's a quickie 2 sound, all right? So let's do a little imagining or a little pretending, if you will, right? So I want you to imagine a quick wind kick as you practice and you listen for the first sound heard in these words, all right? So listen. Quick wind, right? And you see on the screen here my little karate kid, right? He's kicking the wind, right? So again, listen. Quick wind. The very first sound you hear in the word quick is k, right? Excuse me, right? And the very first sound or non-sound, really, that you hear in the word wind is, that's that wind sound. Remember we learned the sound? So quick wind, you hear k and all right. So let's look at the sound picture here on your screen and let's talk about its shape, what it looks like, all right? What does that shape look like to you? Think about that for a second. Look at the screen here. Look at the sound picture. And what does that shape look like? I'll tell you what it looks like to me. It looks like a stick with a circle, right? A circle or a ball at the top, right? A stick with a ball at the top. That's what it looks like to me, right? And let's see. That's about it, yeah. So let's take a picture of this sound and we're going to store it in our mental images right up here, right? So let's turn our eyes to the camera. We're going to pretend, we're going to imagine that we're hitting a little switch right here in the top of in our head to turn on our eye camera, right? Hit the switch. Good job, all right? So I want you to open your eyes really wide, and I want you to zoom in on the sound picture on the screen. And when I say take the picture, take the picture. Take the picture. Good job, all right? So we've just stored this quickie 2 sound in our brain, right? Up in our mental we've just taken a mental image of the sounds, what I'm trying to say, right? So whenever we need to call up that image, just like you call up the pictures on your cell phone, you just kind of slide through your phones, right? So you got to slide through your mind and call up that what sound this sound picture makes when you need to, right? When you see it in a word, right? All right. Now let's make a backup, right? So we've taken a picture. Now what we're going to do? Let's make a video. Let's make a movie of this sound, right? Because for some kids, they can easily think of something and recall it in their mind. And for others, they need to recall like a movie. They need to run a movie in their mind, right? So let's run a movie. Let's make a movie of the sound, all right? So open your eyes really wide. But I want you to zoom in on the sound picture on your screen. But instead of closing your eyes real tight to take the picture, you're going to gently, slowly close your eyes. All right? Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Good job. Good job. Now keep your eyes closed. Don't peek. Stop peeking. Right? Now I'm going to talk you through. Now I want you to keep your eyes closed. Right? So I want you to see this sound in your mind. Okay? I want you to see the shape of the sound. You can see the stick. Right? You see a little stick with a little ball or a circle at the top of the stick. Okay? And the ball is on the left-hand side of the stick, okay? Can you see that? And I want you to imagine, I want you to see in your mind, keep your eyes closed, of that Karate Kid kicking the wind real quick, like a quick wind kick, right? Okay, open your eyes. Good job, all right? So, again, when we, as we reach words today, and in the future classes, when we start reading stories, if you run across this sound picture, all right, I want you to think about, I want you to call up your image, your camera image, or call up your video image and say, oh yeah, I know that sound. That's all right. Good job. All right. Let's talk about a little bit more. All right. So to make this sound picture, you got to think about a bounce sound, right, and a breath air sound. And again, remember, a breath air sound is not really a sound. It's just wind. You're just puffing up your cheeks, making wind, right? All right, so we're gonna bounce the k out of our mouths, and we're gonna go into a sound. Okay, good job. Listen, you try it. Good job, good job, good job. All right. So again, to make this this cookie 2 sound, it's you're making 2 quick sounds. You're making a bouncing k sound and a breath air sound. Good job. All right. So moving right along. Let's talk about what's actually going on with this sound, right? This cookie 2 sound. So this is what you see. This is what you see with your eyes, right? You see one letter. You see one single solitary letter, right? But this is what you hear. Who's this guy again? Alpha, right? That's alpha. So what does alpha ear hear when you're saying the sound, right? You hear k and p, right? So you see one sound, but you hear 2 sounds to make the sounds, right? Good job. Good job. All right. So just wanted to point that out to you. Alrighty then. All right. So now we're going to do our little quickie 2 sound drill, right? So we're gonna practice making this. We're gonna practice combining. Let me just center this on the screen here. We're gonna practice combining the cookie 2 sound, which each of the 5. What are these 5 sounds called? Anybody remember? There's 2 ways. There's 2 words for them: taste sounds or vowel sounds, right? So we're gonna combine the quickie 2 sound with each of these slide vowel sounds or slide taste sounds. And remember, every single solitary word of all the words, there are millions and millions of words, right? They have to have, especially English words, they have to have at least one of these types of sounds, right? So remember, they're the most important sounds of all the 103 sound codes you're going to learn. These are the 5 are the most important, all right? So it's going to go something like this for this exercise. All right. So when you combine the quickie 2 sound picture with the quickie 2 slide sound picture, this is what you get, right? You get a plus an equals quack, right? Right? So let's you practice the sound. What happens when you combine these 2 sounds? When you combine plus you get what? Quack. Good job. Quack. Good job. All right. Listen closely. When you combine the quickie 2 sound picture with the slide sound picture, right? When this is what you get. You get plus equals quack. Right? Let's hear you say it. Quack. Good job. Good job. All right. Let's move to the next one. If you combine the quickie 2 sound picture with the slide sound picture, this is what you get. You get plus equals quack. You try it. Quack. Good job. Good job. All right. Moving right along, if you combine the quickie 2 sound picture with the slide sound picture this is what you get. You get plus equals qua. Good job, you said qua. Good job, all right? And the last one, if you combine the quickie 2 sound picture with the slide letter sound what do you get? You get plus equals qua. Good job, all right? So starting from the top, we're going to say these 5 sounds, these 5 combined sounds fast, all right? So listen to me first. I'm going to say it first. Check it out. Qua, que, qua, qua. You try it, all right? On a count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go. Qua, que, qua, qua. Can you do it a little bit faster? I think you can. 1, 2, 3, go. Quack, 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 quack. All right? Good job. All right. Moving right along. There's something really, there's something special, if you will, about this quickie 2 sound, right? And here's a rule. It's a really special rule for the, oopsie daisy, what happened there? Let me go back to the page I want to be on. Computers. Sometimes they're kind of weird, right? So here's the deal. Whenever you see the quickie 2 sound in a word, it's always followed by a silent sound. That's a rule. It's always followed by a silent sound. So we're going to learn a little chant today to help you remember this rule. All right? But before we learn this chant, I need to talk to my level 1 student. Now, we haven't talked about letter names yet, right? And in all of our classes, we just learned the sound picture sounds or the letter sounds. So we're going to learn the letter name sounds in the next class. But I want to introduce you to 2 names today that's necessary for you to understand or remember this chant, right? So this sound picture, now what sound does this sound picture make? That's right. And what sound does this sound picture make here? Do you remember? Good job. But here's their names, their letter names, right? We've learned their sound picture codes, their sounds. Now here's the letter names. This sound picture, the letter name is called Q. All right? And this sound picture, the letter name is U. Okay? So the letter name for is Q, and the letter name for is U. And we're going to learn all of those letter names in more detail in the next class. But I just wanted to introduce those 2 names to you so you can understand and remember this chant. So the chant goes like this. Don't say the U when it follows the quickie to Q. All right? So you don't say the U when it follows the quickie to Q. All right. So I'm going to say that chant 5 times, right? And then you're going to say it 5 times with me. Okay. So I suggest, you don't have to, but I think it'll make more sense if you close your eyes while I say this chant. You just keep your eyes closed. I'm going to say it 5 times. All right. Or just listen, or just watch me and listen, because you're going to have to say it 5 times with me, all right? So it goes like this. And this is the beat. This is the beat. This is how fast you say it, right? So don't say the U when it follows a quickie to Q. Don't say the U when it follows a quickie to Q. Don't say the U when it follows a quickie to Q. Don't say the U when it follows a quickie to Q. Don't say the U when it follows a quickie to Q. So do you hear it? All right. Now I do want you to close your eyes. I'm going to say it one more time. Close your eyes. Listen. Don't say the U when it follows a quickie to Q. Now this is what you're actually saying, right? What that chant means is you don't say the sound, right? When you sound out a word, you don't say the or the U sound whenever this sound follows right after the quickie to Q or the sound, right? So you don't say this sound. It's always silent when it's in a word and it's following this sound picture, and it's always following that sound picture, right? So you don't say the U when it follows the quickie to Q, all right? So repeat after me. We're going to say it slow first, a couple times, and then we're going to speed it up, all right? Repeat after me and think about what you're saying. Don't say the you when it follows the quickie to cue. Right? So you don't say the you when it follows the quickie to cue. All right? So we're gonna speed it up a little bit. And we're gonna say that 5 times. All right? 1, 2, 3, go. Don't say the you when it follows the quickie to cue. Don't say the you when it follows the quickie to cue. Don't say the you when it follows the quickie to cue. Don't say the you when it follows the quickie to cue. Don't say the you when it follows the quickie to cue. Good job. Now in your homework, when you get your homework packet, I want you to say that chant 10 times, 10 times, right? I want you to say it 10 times until it sticks in your mind, right? So whenever you see, when you're reading a word, you see a word in a story, in a book, wherever you see a word that starts with this sound, and you're gonna, when you're sounding it out, you're gonna always remember that the sound, silent, right? Because why is it silent? Because you don't say the you when it follows the quickie to cue. All right, all right. So that's gonna make sense to you in a momento, in one moment. But I want you to think about it in another way, right? So who knows what a stoplight is, right? You're riding in the car with your parents or a reader teacher. You're riding in the car with an adult or someone, right? And they come to a stoplight. There's 3 lights on a stoplight, right? There's a red light. That means stop. A yellow light means to, what does a yellow light mean? To get ready to go, right? And then a green light means go, all right? So whenever you see this sound picture here, right? Whenever you see, I want you to think of this as a brain signal sound, right? So I want you to stop really, really quick in your mind when you see the sound. And I want you to slow down and I want you to get ready to read the sound out the word, but I want you to look for the sound. That's your yellow light. So look, get ready to read, right? So stop when you see a look for the silent and then remember that it's silent and sound out the word, okay? So I want you to think about that stoplight. When you see a or letter Q, you gotta stop, look, slow down, look for that sound, and then green light means go, read the word, right? But this is all gonna be happening really, 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 really fast, right? All right, so there you have that, all right? So moving right along. Let's do a little practicing of that rule, right? All right, so we're gonna start here with this word here. Let me just center this a little bit better, okay? So we're going to sound out this word together, right? But we're going to think about the rule, right? So this first sound in this word, what's this first sound? Right? And what follows this sound? And And what's the rule? You don't say the you when it follows a quickie to cue, right? So when we're sounding out, right? Well, I'll come back to that. So, and what's the next sound? It's a sliding sound, right? And the very last sound is a bounce sound, right? So we're going to combine all of these sounds together. And what you have here is a quickie to sound, a silent sound, a slide sound, a bounce sound, all right? So listen and watch me first. To sound this out is, let me move the cursor out of the way, is quit, right? And when you're sounding out a word that has a quickie to cue, it's almost like the sound is invisible because you don't say it, right? It's an invisible sound, or it's a silent sound, right? And why is it silent? Because it follows a quickie to cue. So you don't say the you when it follows a quickie to cue, right? So to look at this word, this is what you see, right? You see it, but this is what you hear. Quit. All right? Quit. All right. So can you use the word, what does quit mean? Can you think of a sentence that has the word quit in it? So think of a sentence and say it in your mind really, really quickly. Quit. I'll tell you what it means. If you have somebody that's bothering you and you want them to stop bothering you, you might say, quit bothering me. Quit it. Cut it out. That means cut it out or stop it. Quit. Good job. All right. Let's go to the next one. So we're going to sound out these letter sounds or these sound pictures together. So you have the very first sound you see here is a, and it's immediately followed by a. And what's the rule? You don't say the U when it follows a quickie to Q. So this sound is silent, right? And then you have a slide E and a slide Z. All right. So I'm going to sound it out first. I want you to think about that quickie to Q rule, and here it goes. Quiz, quiz. You say it. Quiz, right? So this is what you see, right? You see is, but this is what you hear. Quiz, right? Quiz. And you hear this because you don't say the U when it follows the quickie to Q. Now, quiz, what does quiz mean? Can you think of a sentence really quickly? Think of a sentence in your mind. Quiz before I share my sentence with you. Quiz. Quiz means you're like taking a test, right? You're being tested on what you know, right? So let's say after you practice, then you take a quiz or a test to show what you know, right? So in this class, you're taking a quiz to see if you can remember the quickie to U sound, right? Chant, right? Because you don't say the U when it follows quickie to Q. That's a quiz, like a test to show what you know. All right, good job. All right, moving right along. Right, let's move to the next word here. Right, so this is what you see. Let me center this just a little bit better. Right, so this is what you. One more time. Let's see. Right, so this is what you see. Right, you see a quickie to sound. You see a sound. You see a e, a sliding e, a sliding u, and a bouncing t sound. Right. But you remember that rule about a U or a following the quickie to Q. You don't say it, right? Because you don't say the U when it follows a quickie to Q. So to sound out this word, it's almost like you pretend like the is invisible because it's silent, right? So this is how you would sound this out. Quilt, quilt, quilt. Good job. Now, what's a quilt? I'm sorry, you say it. Quilt, quilt, right? Because it's quickie to, silent U, slide, slide, bounce, quilt. A quilt is like a blanket or a really special blanket that's made out of squares of cloth or material or clothes, right? That's sewn together. Quilt, quilt. Good job. All right. Let's go to the next word. All right. This is going to be our next word that we're going to sound out. Oopsie daisy. Let me just highlight it for you here. All right. So you know the rule by now, right? What's the rule? You don't say the U if it follows the quickie to Q. All right. So I'm gonna sound this out first. I want you to remember the rule, right? While I'm sounding it out, I want you to think about what you're hearing, right? This to sound out this word, it's quest, quest. And in this word, you have a quickie to sound, a silent sound, a sliding sliding s, and a bounce sound. Quest, quest. Good job, good job. All right. Now, can you see it in your mind? This is what you see, and this is what you hear, right? Because you don't say the U when it follows the quickie to Q. Quest. Now, what does quest mean? Anybody know what quest mean? It's like something that you're really wanting to do, right? It's like your intention to do something or to achieve something. Like, my quest is to make sure you understand the quickie to rule, the quickie to you rule when you're sounding out words that has the sound and the quickie to sound and quest. Something that you really you feel strong about. You really want to do. Quest. Okay. All right, so this is part of your homework packet, and this is where you're building or you're writing the word or the letter sound of the day, and the letter sound of today is the sound, right? So you're going to recall the image, when the camera image that you took with your eyes, or you're going to recall that tape, right? Remember the Karate Kid kicking the wind, kicking the wind, and you can recall the shape. We talked about the shape. It's a stick with a circle or a ball at the top of the stick. Now look at this, where this ball is. Is it on the right side of the stick or the left side of the stick, right? It's on the left side of the stick, right? So if this is the stick, let me make sure. This is the stick, right? And this is the ball at the top of the stick, right? So this is how you write this. Remember, when you're writing on your writing pages, your lined paper, you need to think about the 3 lines on your lined paper. If you don't have lined paper, you need to imagine, right? Because you need to make the right shape when you're building letters to have good handwriting, right? So you're going to start, remember the 3 lines are the sky, the fence, and the ground line. So to build or write this shape, you're going to start at the, put your pencil or crayon right here on the fence line, and you're going to draw a straight line all the way to the ground. But look what happens. You're not going to stop at the ground. You're going to go through the ground. You're going to go through the ground and continue on and make a stick like so, right? And then you're going to pick up your pencil or your crayon, and you're going to put it, remember, you're going to put it on the left side of the stick. It's on the left side of the stick, right? Now, it's not in the reading direction. It's in the left side of the stick. Almost remember that dum dum drum where the circle's on the wrong side? This is the circle's on the wrong side of the left side of the stick. So you're going to take your pencil or crayon. You're going to put it right there on the stick that you just drew, right about right here, just below the fence line, about right about here. And then you're going to start drawing your circle. You're going to start drawing your circle all the way around until it touches the ground line, and then up until you're going to stop at the point that you started. Okay. All right. So again, that's in your homework packet, and you're going to practice writing the sound on the sky, fence, ground page of your homework packet. Now, also in your homework packet, there's a tracing page, right? So that you can trace writing the sound. And notice how it has a little curl at the end sound, right? Or it can just be a straight line as well. Either or is okay, right? So you're gonna on your homework paper, you're gonna either write the sound, and then you're gonna practice writing words that feature the sound. And notice all of these words are followed by a U, right? And you don't say the U when it follows a quickie to Q, right? Exactly. All right. Now for my levels 2 and my levels 3 students, also in your homework packet, it's going to be a cursive writing page whereby you're going to practice writing the sound in cursive handwriting, right? And you're also going to practice writing these 3 words that feature the sound picture, right, or the letter Q. Good job. Alrighty then, moving right along. Right? So this is also a homework activity where you're making the sandwich. And what does that mean by making the sandwich? That means that you are sandwiching the taste sound or the vowel sound, okay? So now you're going to use your SOS bookmark in your homework when you get your homework packet. And SOS stands for what again? Sound out steps, all right? The sound out steps, all right? So let me just center this as best I can, all right? So here are the steps. Step number 1, you're going to silence the sound or silence the U. And how do you do that in your homework? By just drawing an X over the sound. So that's letting you know that when you sound out this word, you don't say the U. You don't say the sound, right? Right. The next step, you're going to circle, or you're going to circle the taste sound. What's another word for taste sound? The vowel sound, right? You're going to circle the vowel sound. Good job. And then the next step, the third step, you're going to bake the sandwich, the word sandwich, right? And what that means is that you're going to sandwich the taste sound or the vowel between the cookie sound on the right and the cookie sound on the left, right? right? Because remember, we think about the vowel sounds are also thought of as ice cream sounds, right? So you're making an you're going to pretend or make believe that you're making an ice cream sandwich. You're going to sandwich the vowel or sandwich the ice cream sound, right? But the trick, or a little bit, what's a little different for words that have the quickie to sound, when you sandwich the vowel, since the is silent, we're going to pretend like it's not there. So the sandwich is going to be the first sound on the left of the taste sound, and the right hand sound on the right. So this is the left hand sound and the right sound, and we're not going to count the because it's silent. So we're going to pretend that it's not there. All right. So those are the 4 steps, and then the next step is to sound out the word, right? So this word again is quiz, right? Quiz, all right? Now this is a word that has an extra sound. Now, who remembers the steps for an extra sound? Let's go through it, right? So step number 1, you're going to silence the U or silence the sound by putting an X on the sound. Step number 2 is you're going to what? Circle the taste sound, right? Circle the taste sound, right? Or the vowel or the ice cream sound, whatever terminology that you want to use, right? So you're going to circle the taste sound. And then step number 3, you're going to sandwich the taste or make the taste sound of the vowel. So you're going to make the sandwich, right? You're going to make the sandwich, right? So, and then the next step, you're going to sound it out. Then the next step, you're going to underline any extra sounds, right? And then you're going to sound, and then the 5th step that you can't see here, you're going to sound out the sandwich only, the word sandwich only. So the word sandwich in this exercise or this example would be what? Quest, right? You don't add the extra sound yet. So the sandwich is quest, and then if you add the extra t sound to quest, it's quest. All right. So again, when you get your homework packet, you're going to practice making the sandwich. All right. So now we're going to do our eye tracking exercise. Okay. And in this exercise, what you're going to do is we're going to say or sound out the letters, sound or the sound pictures or the letters, right? And we're going to just track using our eyes only. So your eyes should be like that, right? Right. And again, we're working on this exercise looking down at a monitor, but when you get your homework packet, I want you to hold it up so that it's right. The paper is right in front of your eyes, right? Right at your nose level. Don't put it on your nose. Just right at your nose level, right? So that way you're making sure that you're just tracking with your eyes, not moving your head, all right? So again, when you get to the end of the line, your eyes whip. It's like they whip, right here. So it's like whip to the next line right there, okay? All right, so let's start here. Okay? Now we're gonna do this together. Go. Quit. Quiz. Good job. Now you notice something here? You notice that this is what you see, right? But this is actually what you hear. You hear the k and the sound, right? Right? Isn't that kind of interesting? Right. So I'm going to take away the lines, and we're going to practice again without the lines. And we're just seeing if you can keep up and not lose your place, right? Not end up going from here to here. So this is an eye muscle exercise, right? To get to so your eyes can get used to reading lines of text, reading lines of words, I should say, right? So let's start right here. Ready? Go. Quit. Quiz. Wonderful. All right. Again, if that was a little bit too fast for some of you, when you get your homework packet, just slow it down and sound out these letter sounds and words at your own pace. Deal? Good job. All right. Moving right along. All right, so this is also in your homework packet. Who's this guy right here? Alpha, right? So we're going to help Alpha Ear find the hidden quickie 2 sound, right? And you know the drill by now. What you're going to do when you get your homework packet, you're going to finger slide. You're going to slide your finger across until you find one of the the hidden quickie 2 sound, and you're going to say stop, and then you're going to circle the quickie 2 sound, and you're going to sound it out, right? And again, in your homework packet, there's a whole sheet, right? There's a whole sheet of hidden sounds for you to find, circle, and sound out. Magnificent, magnificent. All right. Also in your homework packet is the sound strip. Okay, it's your sound strip, and in the sound strip, to make this more interesting, you're going to use a timer, right? You're going to use a timer, and let's say that you're going to set the timer for 15 seconds, right? And the object of the game is to sound out the letters or the letter sounds, or read the words as fast as you can and not make any mistakes before the timer goes off, right? But if you make a mistake, you have to start all the way back over at the very first sound, right? So let's say that you get to right here. So you sound this out in the reading direction, and you've gotten to here, and you make a mistake. You sound this word out wrong. Got to start back over. So you're trying to beat the clock. All right. And so for some of my levels 2 and 3 students, if 15 seconds is too much time, let's say that you get to here and the clock is, you got, seconds left, challenge yourself. Set the clock for 10 seconds, right? Right. And so you just keep playing this game until, and you're gonna, and record or see what your best score is out of three opportunities or 3 tries. All right, but we're not going to time ourselves today. Today we're just going to go through and read the sounds together. We're going to start with this first sound picture here. We're going to sound them out in the reading directions from left to right. When we get to the end of the line, we're going to whip to the next line. All right, at a count of 3, 1, 2, 3, go. Quiz. Quit. Good job. Good job. Again, if that was a little bit too fast, when you get your homework packet, slow it down a little bit and sound them out at your own pace. Okay? Good job. All right. This is another homework activity, and let me just center this on the page. Bear with me a moment. All right. So this is a word search, right? So what you're going to do, you know the drill by now. You're going to look for the hidden, you're going to find and circle the hidden quickie 2 sound words in this puzzle, right? And who's this little guy here? Alpha. You're going to help Alpha find those hidden words. Now here's a little something I did a little different in this word search puzzle. There are real words, and then there are made up words. I just made these up, right? And I want you to think of these as copycat letter sounds, right? Because these letters, they copy off the real word. So this is the word quiz. See, this is what you see, quiz. But actually, this is what you hear, quiz. So in this word search puzzle, I've hidden 3 real words and 3 copycat letter sound words, right? So quit. This is what you see. Quit is what you're gonna. This is what it sounds like. All right, so you get the gist of that, right? So that's a part of your homework, the word search. Dun, da, da, da. So now it's time to do the letter sounds dance, right? So letter sounds dance, right? And in this particular dance, we're going to add a new dance step, right? And this is the silent U step, and it looks like this. Right, okay? So when we are the 4 steps is you sound out the word, you write the dance steps in the boxes, right, in the right order that you hear them, from left to right of the reading direction, and then you dance it out, right? All right. So you're listening for slide sounds, bounce sounds. Well, there's silent U sounds. You're looking for those silent sounds and the quickie 2 sounds. Now, who remembers the dance step for quickie 2? Right? It's just now if you stand up and you do this dance stand up, it's like a 2-step, a quick 2-step, right? Good job. 2 steps. All right. So let's do a little practicing. All right. So for my level 1 students, this is what I did for you. I took the pictures, you know, the sound codes pictures, and I put them in a box for you, right? So let's sound out this word first, right? Together. 1, 2, 3, go. Quit. Quit, right? Now, I want you to look at the word quit, right? It's it. But remember the rule, you don't say the U when it follows a quickie to Q. So the very first sound you hear in quit is the breath air sound, right? It's followed by a, so you don't say it. So you're going to write so I put the shh, lady lips there, right? And then you hear a slide sound, and t, bounce, right? So let's dance this word out, right? So the dance steps are going to be, watch me first. The dance steps are going to be slide, bounce, all right? All right? So we're going to do it together, right? Feel the beat, feel the beat. 1, 2, 3, go. Bounce. All right, good job. All right. Now, for my levels 2 and my levels 3 students, when you're doing this homework activity at home, you're going to write the codes, right, or the dance steps. Remember, you're the choreographer. You know, you're the choreographer, and you're making up these dance steps. So you're going to write the codes in the boxes before you dance it out. All right. So let's sound out. Let's all three codes. All three codes. Listen to me. All three levels. Let's sound out this 5-letter word, right? Yes, 5-letter. It's 5 letters or 5 sound pictures, but you hear 6 sounds, right? Just like here, there's 4 sound pictures. You see 4 sound pictures, but you only hear 3, right? Now, did I say that back? I think I said that wrong. Bear with Tutor Vanessa, right? So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letter sounds or sound pictures, but you only hear 4 sounds. I'm sorry. All right, because you hear the e, l, t. Good job. All right. So let's sound it out first together. Go. Quilt. Quilt. All right. Now let's dance, or let's write what we hear. Right. So in the word quilt, very first sound you hear is a quickie 2 sound. So that's going to be, you're going to write in the box Q2, right? And then it's followed by a silent U. So the code for silent U, you're going to write SU. Then it's followed by a slide sound. It's followed by another slide sound. And it's followed by a bounce sound. Okay? All right. So you're going to write S, S, and B for the slides and bounce sounds. All right? So let's dance it out. All right? For the sake of my level 1 student, watch me first, and then we're going to all dance it together, right? So to dance out, listen for the beat of quilts. You can hear a beat, right? You can hear a quickie 2 sound, slide, slide, bounce, right? All right? So the moves go something like this. Slide, slide, bounce, all right? So it's quickie 2, silent U, slide, slide, bounce, all right? So we're going to dance it together. Go. Slide, slide, bounce. Good job, all right? So that's in your homework packet. Good job, good job, good job. So also in your homework packet, remember the memory game, right? So as you can see, for the quickie 2 sound, there's only 4 letters, or there's only 4 words or sound picture words, right? So this is a really short memory game. So to make the memory game, you're gonna ask your parent or read your teachers to make 2 copies of this page, right, on cardstock or hard paper or heavy paper, and you're gonna mix them all together, and you're just gonna look for the matches. You're gonna turn them over, sound them out, and look for its match. And whoever has the most matches at the end wins the game. But in today's class, let's just read them. Let's just sound out each of these sound picture words together. Okay, starting here. Go. Quit. Good job. Here. Quiz. What about here? Quilt. And here. Quest. Good job. And again, for each and every last one of these words, Remember, you don't say the U when it follows a quickie too cute. Right. Good job. Good job. All right. So that's in your homework packet. Da 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 da. So now this is also in your homework packet. So you're going to practice saying those 4 words, right? Practice sounding out those 4 words. And I want to make sure that you can read them just like that. And I want to also ask that you make sure that you're not memorizing. We don't want you to memorize. We want you to sound out, right? I want you to remember the rule about the quickie to U and sound out each letter sound, right? And if you're having any difficulties or any problems, or if there's any you're a little choppy, you're a little hesitant, just go back and practice this lesson from start to finish, right? So let's just look at the let's just review again. The quickie 2 sound is like a 2-second sound, right? The silent the silent U is silent, of course. The slide sound, remember those are slide sounds, so they're like 3 seconds. You can hold that sound, and then the bounce sound has to bounce out of your mouth, right? So let's practice using the sound pictures and the clues underneath. Let's practice this word here, right about here, right? Let's sound it out on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go. Quilt. Good job. Quilt. All right. Da, 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 da. So in your homework packet, you're just gonna practice saying these 4 words as fast as you can, right? And if you're having any hesitation, if it's kind of hard, or you can't quite get it out of your mouth, just go back over and practice until you can. Okay. Alrighty then. Moving right along. All right. So students, this is the quickie 2 sounds, right? So there were only, remember I said the last class there are only 2 quickie 2 sounds in all of the sound pictures or the letter sounds you're going to learn. So then the 2 quickie 2 sounds are the qu and the x. And what's a quickie 2 sound? One more time, just think about the definition of what it means, what a quickie 2 sound means. A quickie 2 sound is a letter that makes 2 very quick but different sounds. And you say them so fast, so quick. Remember, quickie 2, hence the name, that it almost sounds like one sound, right? That's a quickie 2 sound. Alrighty then, moving right along. We haven't seen this guy in a long time, huh? This is our letter sounds codes map. And look what we've accomplished. Look what we've completed so far. Remember way back when we started right here learning slide sounds, right? And the little check marks represent all the sounds that you've learned. So we started right here and we learned 14 slide sounds. And then we went to our bounce sounds. Remember, bounce sounds that bounce out of your mouth as opposed to slide sounds that slide out of your mouth. And what are slide sounds? Who remembers what are slide sounds? Slide sounds are your friend because slide sounds gives you, the reader, a chance to sound out a difficult word or a difficult letter, a letter that you just can't quite get out of your mouth. You can hold that slide sound as long as you need to and still be cool and smooth. Remember, we want to be cool and smooth. That's right. And then the bounce sounds. The bounce sounds are a little more difficult because they got to bounce out of your mouth. You can't hold them because we don't want to make the add an extra sound, right? We don't want to be adding extra unnecessary sound. So bounce sounds are great to blend with slide sounds because bounce sounds get out of your mouth and then you kind of take your time or take your time with slide sounds. So they're your friends, right? And then we learn 3 breath air sounds. Now, breath air sounds are not really sounds, right? Breath air sounds are sounds that just produce or make wind in your mouth, right? You either use your cheek to make them, or it's air coming out the back of your throat, right? Breath air sounds. And then we learn 2 quickie 2 sounds, right? We learn 2 quickie 2 sounds. And what's a quickie 2 sound again? It's one letter that makes 2 quick sounds, quickie 2 sounds, right? So all together, you have learned 26 letter sound codes. 26. All right. Now, these 26 codes that you've learned so far, they have a special name. And that special name is the alphabet. So you've learned the 26 letters of the alphabet, the sounds of the alphabet, okay? Good job. Now, here's another thing. The next 4 classes are really important. All the classes are important, but these next 4 classes are so important, okay? So it's really important, there's that word again, that you take each and every class, right? Don't miss any classes, and because all the classes are linked together, right? So we don't want you jumping ahead, right? Or we don't want you taking any of these classes out of order, because it's going to make sense, right? It's going to make a lot of sense, especially when we get here in these more difficult letter sound codes, right? But look how far we've come, right? So again, so you don't want to skip, you don't want to miss any classes, because we want you to keep up with the class, because these more difficult codes might not make any sense. So, but again, these next 4 classes are really important. Da da da. All right, so enough of that. All right. So where are we now? We're at the letter sound codes countdown. Okay, so again, we've learned 26 of the 103 total codes you're going to learn with this class with me. You've learned 26 letter sound codes, and how many do we have left to go? Right here, 77. Seems like a lot, but it's not, right? Because we're just moving right along, right? So we are right here. Let's look at the letter sounds clock. We're right here between the 24 and the 28. So we're right here. We've learned 26, right? And we're just until we get right here. But we're doing big things. We're moving right along, and again, I'm so proud of you, all right? So now this is the page where I want you to tell somebody, right? So for my students in the room, especially my levels 1 and 2, all of my students, right? If your parent or your mom or dad or grandparent or the reader, you don't have a reader teacher in the room, after class I want you to scream, "Mom, Dad, tell somebody." Let me tell you why I keep bringing this up, right? I really like what I'm doing, right? And I really enjoyed working with you and sharing this information with you. But in order to keep this channel going, it has to keep growing. So it has to get bigger, right? And the fastest way for this channel to grow is for you telling everybody that you know about these free private reading classes. So again, tell somebody, okay? And if there are any parents or reader teachers in the room, right, I want you to take a moment to like this class. I need you to like each and every single class, and that's another way the channel grows, right? And if you haven't done so already, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel so that you stay in the loop and you'll know whenever there's new classes that come available. All right, so this is the last thing I want to share with you before you go, okay? Now, before you go, I want you to remember these quick things for all my students in the room, right? That practice makes perfect, right? So I need you to practice everything that you learned in today's class, all about today's letter sounds code and all the codes you've learned in the past. And here's the thing, because if you become a child of the code, as you are, for a child of the code, there's no such thing as a word too hard to read. But I want to give a special shout out to my level 1 students, all of my levels, but my level 1 students. You have learned so far 464 words. So you can read at least 464 words. Say that number after me. 464. Say that number. 464 words you can read by yourself without any help, especially if you've been practicing. And just think, we haven't even learned the so-called sight words yet, or the letter names or anything like that, or any of the more difficult letter sound codes. But you can read 464 words just with those 26 codes that you've learned so far. So give yourself a high five. Good job. Good job. Good job. All right. So with that being said, I can't wait to see you in the next class. Bye for now.